What do your clients look for in public schools?
So I actually don't have a ton of clients who have kids that are elementary age. So a lot of my clients actually don't think about public school at the moment.
Right.
It's like, all right, yeah, we're just gonna just buy a house because we want to buy a house.
Education is not important.
No,
I'm kidding.
I mean, it is,
Yeah.
but I have a lot of people who are like, okay, well, at this point, I'm going to move to the suburbs
Sure.
or talking about that stuff. It's not really, I mean, if I do have somebody, they already know what they're kind of looking for and they're actually open. I feel like most of our clients, or at least my clients, don't have a specific school that they're like kind of like trying to find.
The questions that I see most is trying to understand, first and foremost, the school systems.
Yep.
But I think there's a lot bigger conversations in that. So first and foremost, there's just the logistical aspects, right? Everyone comes to us and they're so worried about getting into the right school. There's a lot of rating systems. There's a lot of websites. As we always say, take them all with a grain of salt, because there are some very, very popular, well-regarded schools that if you go online and you see their ratings, you probably wouldn't think that they were so popular for a reason.
Yeah.
So I always say, take that stuff with a grain of salt. I will say one of the things that I ask every teacher that I ever get the opportunity to work with, I always ask them what's important to them in schools, because I think that they are one of the true tests. And usually their responses surprise me. I would say 90% of the time, they actually look to parent involvement. They see the parent involvement in a public school as one of the most important things, that if you have high parent involvement, the success of the students in the school and the success of the school is really important.
Yeah.
I think that there's some really important things to note in the sense that just logistics. Like I can speak personally, right? When we were looking to put our kids in school, first and foremost, there was only certain schools that we were going to drive to. So we had a radius of what made sense, knowing that we were looking outside of our personal district. It's commuting for certain. Just like when you were buying a house and you were how to get to work, how to get to school. A lot of people don't know that different schools, even within the same public system, start at different times. Because my husband is the person that drops the kids off. There was no schools that started before 8 a.m. that were
on the list.
No, it just wasn't happening. What time they end at, obviously, is related to that. Whether or not they have aftercare programs. Aftercare programs are programs where basically the kids can stay after school for a fee and be monitored and do things like that. I think the programs within the school are always important. And a lot of times the programs within the school are based on the size of the school, and the funding of the school. Our oldest daughter went to kindergarten at a school that we were very, very excited about and had a great experience with. That being said, it was a very small school and they didn't have funding for a foreign language. So as a parent, that was something to me that I thought, well, I wanted my child to have access to a foreign language. I didn't want to really do it off of school. So it was one of those things that as we were starting to look a little bit more deeply, I realized that I had to have them at a larger school so that would actually become important in terms of that. So the programs that they offer.
What language are they learning?
Spanish.
Nice.
They've actually been in Spanish since daycare. So
Dang.
hopefully at some point it makes sense for them. But foreign language is a big deal. And plus all of the elementary schools typically only have one language if they offer any at all. So if that's something that's important to people, I think that's something that's important to note as well as some of the programs that, now one of the big tips that I give anybody looking, and this was something that went away during COVID, most of these schools do little open house tours. So if you go on the website, you can find out that once a month they will have an hour tour through the school.
Yep.
I say go to it, no matter how much research you do online. When you walk through a school and you hear how they present things, as a
opinion,
right? And I've actually had clients that are, before even having any kids at all, that are considering a longer term home. I say, go to the school and walk through the tour and do those things just to make yourself more comfortable. And they always say, is it weird that we're doing it without a child? Nobody knows. You can just show up and do those things for that perspective. So it's just all investigative work if people want to.
Okay. Maybe a little too soon until you're like Uvalde or something.
Well, I'm saying there are certain people that look for longer term homes, or at least they think they're going to be in the homes longer term, and it's an important thing. But I think that there's a lot of things that people don't think about, and that's a great question.
I wish my clients had more children.
Maybe we can do it. I don't think we could get away with an advertisement on that. That seems like against every code of ethics possible.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, start procreating, please.
Or at least practicing to procreate.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope all of you are practicing procreating. Like, gosh, I hope so.
Right. Oh,
And that was the rated R version of our podcast today. Thank you very much.
we kept it very clean, all things considered.
We've tried so hard for so long.